Howdy y'all, another update in our Landrace, Cannabis Landrace Botanical Garden out in Boulder Creek. Just wanted to show you things are definitely charging along. This one's really vigorous and taking off. So this is a plant from India. It's nicknamed gutter gas because this one supposedly stinks like sewer gas, like some of the phenos. So again, yeah, very excited about those weird, stanky, funky terps. And it looks like there's going to be a lot of it because, what are we, June 20, I don't even know what day it is.
25th.
25th? Okay, so we're just past summer solstice and we're already, yeah, I'm standing even with it. So it's already 7 feet tall. Obviously, though, it's a long, lanky, wispy sativa. But wanted to show you guys kind of our next phase of what we do. Once we get the plants in the ground, and they green up and get really stabilized and get their roots charging. Now it's time to actually do our support system for them. So this is how we do it. Not preaching, but just sharing how we do it, because we're pretty freaky about contaminants, like zero contaminants. We want everything food grade, all natural, no paints, no weird galvanized stuff. So what this is right here, this is actually organic hemp twine. So this is actually organic hemp baker's twine. So you can actually cook with this, like if you wrap a rump roast or such like that. So anyway, this is food grade hemp twine. So hemp obviously is cannabis. So heaven forbid any of this twine actually somehow got into the bag of the final harvest. Worst case scenario, you've just got organic hemp twine fibers, so nothing to worry about. A lot of the cannabis industry, in fact, the vast majority of the cannabis industry does trellising or netting that's made with polyester. And polyester is kind of weird for cannabis too, because polyester was actually kind of in this epic battle with hemp fiber, and polyester actually kind of shut down a lot of the hemp production for fiber. But also, if you end up getting polyester in your final harvest, who wants to be smoking polyester? You know what I'm saying? So anyway, that's why we do it this way. But then also, we don't use like the painted fence posts that have this weird questionable paint on them. We don't want anything getting in here that's impure. So we're starting off with local redwood boxes. This is actually food grade stainless steel gopher cage. So it's food grade stainless steel. Again, you could eat off that, but that keeps the gophers out. And then these posts, instead of using painted, imported metal, who knows what's in the metal, who knows what's in the paint, we don't put that in our garden either. So these are actual redwood posts, and then you actually don't have to staple this string on. You can just wrap it, and we've gotten really good where we've got a technique where we're like a spider on psychedelics. We have this weave that we do where we're going diagonal, and a lot of times do it with two people. So you have someone on each side, and basically what it does, it's not altering the direction of the plant, but it's there as like a safety net. So like right here, it's not even touch it, but if this branch gets heavy, all of a sudden now it's gonna lean on this. And what kind of happens is right now, we don't put a lot of tension on it, but as the plant sort of opens up, starts spraying out and getting heavy, all the strings sort of work together. So also when you get wind, you don't get any really rigid strings holding branches in place that they snap. It's like the whole structure of the string and the plant sort of move together while also supporting these branches. So anyway, that's a lot of talk about string. But anyway, that's how we do it. So this plant got really big, so we're already doing sort of the outer cage. But what ends up happening is as this plant gets bigger, it will end up, eventually all the way out here. So these strings actually disappear, and you have this like invisible support structure that's all hemp fiber anyway. So anyway, so that's this plant. Let's go look at a few other plants. I'm gonna set this right here for now. Oops, fell over. But anyway, here's a plant that was smaller, a little squatter. So we haven't done the outer perimeter yet because the branches haven't reached out. But see here, you can see how we're doing these diagonal crosses. And it looks complicated, but it's actually, it goes pretty fast once you know what you're doing. And so all these branches now all have a support system. And kind of what we do throughout the year, you know, in another like 2 or 3 weeks, the plant will maybe be out to here. So then we'll do an outer wrap, and then we just keep sort of wrapping. And talking a lot about string right now. I hope this is interesting, but it's actually a core foundational part of like how we grow. By the way, this is our Lagatan, Philippines, the purple sky dragon. Just look at this. Oh my God. But what happened with this particular tying structure too, if all of a sudden we found we wanted to tighten something up, you can just grab the string and pull some slack and put a little knot in it. So you can always be adjusting. Let's see if like over here, here's another beautiful plant from India. Anyway, these were just freshly taught, I think yesterday, right? Mm-hmm. So anyway, they're pretty taut right now, but as things adjust, you can actually pull the tension on the lines and then tie it off a little bit if you want to give a little more support. So anyway, let's just look at a few other cool plants. So here's another Lagatan. Now you're really starting to see, you know, this actual real long narrow leaf sativa. This plant's going to be just gorgeous. See what else we got going here. Oh, and a lot of these other plants, yeah, so like down here we haven't tied yet. Oh, we'll show you something else interesting that happened. Right here, we actually had our first hermaphroditic plant. It was one of the lavender plants from India. So the Wachin lavender, yeah, it had been female, but then it started to show male traits. But the cool thing is we have some spare plants. So we're just going to pop this Indian Kerala, which I actually was bummed that we didn't have more of the Kerala in this garden. So we're just going to pop that in today, but this one's been in the pot. So you can see it's still pretty light green compared to everything else. It's getting really deep green. Maybe we'll just go on a little more cruise in case folks want to see these. This is a Jamaica Blue Mountain. So this is going to be interesting. Doesn't strike me as a plant that's going to get really tall. It's probably just going to get really bushy. And who knows, it may actually be an earlier finishing plant. Like if this gets done, if it's a Jamaican, if it's really good quality, and it gets done in October, that's a keeper. That would be really nice. Oh, here's a classic Mexican variety. This is a Michoacan red hair, and you can see this structure. This is sort of the classic Mexican Landrace sativa, so very excited about this. And I'll show you, here's an example of how, like if I wanted to tighten up this branch right here, I just go like this, and then do a loop, and then that. But I don't want to do that because that branch is perfect, but I just wanted to show you how you could do that. And yeah, you can see these plants, they're getting, you know, these take a little longer to sex. We actually popped these seeds in late March. And we just found if we pop seeds too early, like in February, yeah, they might be a little bit bigger, but then we're sort of maintaining these plants for longer, and all the growth really happens right now. So sometimes if you get a really big head start, you think you're way ahead, but to tell you the truth, the plants that are in good condition that come in a few weeks later, at this point they'll catch up and you won't be able to tell the difference. So we found for most of our Landrace stuff, we pop those or germinate those seeds in late March, and now we're June 25th. So this is, and we've got pretty much most of our plants in the ground now. So now they're just going to charge. Let's come down. There's just a few more plants that are really cool. So here's one, this Pakistani, 1970s Pakistani. This is going to be an absolute showpiece. Just beautiful with these purple stems. Love this plant. And then, see what else we got here. This is classic Pakistani Chitral Kush. So this will actually have purple buds. And it's got this beautiful grape, perfumey, musky, scented purple buds with this incredible effect. But yeah, you can see just how beautiful and balanced and bushy and vigorous this plant is. And so this will get tied today. So you can see right now the plant branches are flopping a little bit, but by the end of today probably we'll have a little string supporting that, so we don't risk losing branches. But even if you lose a branch, the plant fills in where there's a void, so sometimes it's heartbreaking, but really in the end it all works out. Just not later, once your plants get big later. Oh, and by the way, topping plants. We do not top any of these plants. We actually let them do their natural thing. We found, at least with the Landrace, when you top them, you're actually setting up a weak structure where it's bifurcated, and a lot of times, and we get wind out here, a lot of times we'll see that split, but we actually don't want the beach ball look. We like more of a Christmas tree, and letting the plant sort of do its own natural thing where each plant expresses itself and has different shape. We don't want uniform beach balls in this garden. And in reality, this shape, you know, outdoor, is as much surface area as this. It's just now a pointed triangle that's going higher in the sky. Anyway, we can do geometry calculations later on to prove that out. But anyway, this is exciting too. This is Sinaloa. So this is old school Mexi brickweed, which is so good. And it's got this really unique spice smell. It's almost like almost smells like old Pier 1 or Cost Plus, like that weird, funky, sort of like sandalwood spice thing going on. So anyway, this is really old school, beautiful Mexi brickweed. Here's another one of the Sinaloa. This is just, it's so cool. And the smell when it's growing, last year a lot of them, we said it smelled like scorpions and leather boots, like leather cowboy boots, tequila or mezcal, scorpion soaked in mezcal, dumped over old cowboy boots is kind of what it smelled like. Really beautiful rustic smell. Anyway, can go on, and right now I'm still getting to know the garden. Like, oh, what's this? This looks great. Yes, it is a great plant. This is Vietnam Black, and you'll see later on we'll compare this to the China Yunnan, and you'll see that the Yunnan has a very similar structure to this. So the Vietnam Black seems to be a China Yunnan with more of a sativa Vietnamese crossed into it, but it's a beautiful, robust plant, really nice. And I think that's about, I think we covered a lot there. So hopefully that was good. We're gonna get going. So anyway, you have a nice day.